Welcome, welcome. It's Friday. Welcome to the latest edition of the Mia Connect Power Chat. I am your host, Mia Voss. Today we're going to talk about business efficiency, and we've got four experts that I've been picking their brain for the last couple weeks, and now I present them to you, so you can pick away as well. So welcome to the show, everybody. It's good to see you guys. Wait, here we go. Yeah. There they are. So I have a ton of good stuff going on for you today. First, I'm going to talk real quick about my show sponsor, which is SteadyDemand.com. Speaking of business tools, go check them out. They are great for running your Google business page or your own personal brand. So please, please go check them out at SteadyDemand.com/tool. So that's my shout out for them today. And then I am going to get into real quickly my panel because they're fabulous. I'm going to go in order of who is invited. So don't think it's a guy-girl thing and first, because it is just who decided to be on the show first. So I'm going to bring up my brother Jason Frasca, who was the first one to agree.
Thanks for having me.
To be on this show. How are you, dear?
I'm doing great. So great to be here, Mia, with you today, and everybody else, Lainey and Lynn and Mike.
Yay! I want to tell you that you guys, how I got to know Jason is he had reached out to me, and then we had this impromptu private hangout that turned into like an hour, and it was the bomb, and I just couldn't get over him. So I was like, please come on the show. We need to showcase your shiny out to everybody else. So tell us where you're out of, Jason.
Yeah, I'm in New Jersey, 45 miles west of New York, and I do small business consulting, digitizing businesses, helping them get to the 21st century. And I'm also working on 2 startups that hopefully I have some MVPs launching in the next 10 to 14 weeks. And I'm also Evernote consultant. I work pretty hard on Evernote too.
Building a log cabin on the side, right?
That's right.
A ton of free time. That is awesome. All right. Next up, I think it was Lynn who was the next one who said, I want to be on the show. Hi, darling.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
Get your
slice.
Exciting. Hey,
Get your slice.
Tell us where you are and what you do.
Well, where I am right now is in the Sonoma Valley in Northern California, wine country. So if you like wine, then come out and see me.
Hey.
Raising your hand. I am a social business specialist, so that means that I help businesses get social. And everyone knows in this day and age, it's now a necessity. A lot of businesses have been fighting it, kicking and screaming for the last 8 years or so. But you know, the gun has gone off and the marathon has begun, or it began a long time ago. So you got to get your shoes, you got to start training, and and get out there and be social. So I help businesses get social.
This is why I invited Lynn, because she's always got some good phrases that really get me inspired on it too. So thank you, darling. All right, next up, Miss Lainey. Hey, girl. And she's going to unmute herself. Hey, girlfriend.
Hi, everybody. Good morning.
Tell us about you. Where you at? What you do?
Well, I am currently sitting on the Trask River in Tillamook, and where Tillamook cheese comes from. And so I'm in partial civilization, so I have partial internet connection, just so you all know.
We're just happy she's got pants on.
I do have pants on, but I'm not going to stand up and show you.
Okay.
But I'm one of those 4.
Yes, you are.
4 girls, and we have a community, a women's community, and we have a show on Thursdays at 10, and we just had a great show yesterday with a bunch of amazing women, and then I run a boutique advertising agency, so I help businesses grow their businesses with, getting new clients online. So that's what I do.
And you also build log cabins in your spare time.
I do build log cabins in my spare time.
I say to anybody who's got a lot of cool stuff going on. So welcome, darling. And those 4 girls community is just rocking out with their sock out. I love it. So you're making it happen. Thank you, darling.
Thanks again for having me on. I love being on with you. So
yes, girl.
I'm so excited. I'm popping my Mike Alton and Jason Frasca cherry.
Oh yeah.
I called for that noise, indeed. So that's my girl right there. Speaking of which, in the time it's taken me to introduce everyone, Mike Alton has written 5 blogs. Welcome to the show. Hello, my friend Mike Alton, the social media head.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing fabulous. So excited. So much fun to be here.
I love having you on. Where are you at, brother?
I'm wearing pants. Sorry.
You are wearing pants. Amen.
I'm in St. Louis. And, you know, for anyone that doesn't know, I kind of consider myself a content marketing consultant because I like to talk about blogging a lot, obviously. And I talk about social media, but I get not every business has a blog, so that's why I kind of, you know, talk about it from a content marketing perspective. But I love using Evernote. I talk about Evernote all the time because that's what I use as my blogging tool. So I'm really excited to hear what Jason has to say and pick his brain right along with you.
Amen. And then if everybody will look over Mike's, his right shoulder to his left, we've got some Hootsuite going on. So we're going to definitely talk about that as a tool. And I'd also, you know, it's too early for most people to be drinking, but if it was, we could make a drinking game out of how many times we're going to say the word tool. Right? We're going to say it.
Hold on.
Oh, wait, everybody drink. Yeah.
Wait. Okay, got the back crack crazy going on.
Oh, yay. Hey, let me shout that out real quick. Do you have the back crack crazy wine glass?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's wine, though.
I'm in the wine country, and it's not wine. It's coconut water.
Not
coconut water. Get it straight.
Hydrating from last night.
That's right.
Exactly. All right, so we're going to throw out some comments from some of our people. We've got Miss Heather Crafter. Hey, let the party begin. Hello, darling. This is one of my favorites. All right, with the Matthew McConaughey voice. Thank you, Chris. Ryan Hanley. He had something to do today, but now that he knows Jason is talking about efficiency, he's going to be here and apparently thinks a little Mia Voss never hurts anyone. Thank you, Ryan. That's awesome. And Barb Jasper. Yes, I love it. Barb Jaster, that's one of those 4 girls. Looking forward to hearing how I can be more efficient in my biz efforts because I'm wearing so many hats. There's always so little time and so much to do. So thank you for that, Barb. So do you guys have anybody you want to shout out in the audience real quick before we get going?
Well, I saw my buddy Robert Caruso's out there. Hey,
That's
Robert.
our brother from another mother.
And my girl Dawn. She's one of my Michigan girlfriends.
Yes.
From my home state of Michigan. Dawn Swick is out there, and
I saw that.
Gosh,
that's awesome.
Lance is out there, and
brother Lance.
So many.
Yeah,
so thank you.
Dennis.
Is Sheffy out there?
Yeah.
Excellent. Anybody else?
Mark Ensign's out there.
Hey, Mark, he's getting warmed up for David and Christine's show after this, so happy he could make. Oh, Jeff C. He's probably making a video about this right now, a bumper trailer. That's what he does.
Oh, nice.
I love it. All right, guys. Well, the first thing we're going to get into is I'd love to hear from each of you what's working in your life, and I'm going to be scritching down notes like a crazy woman. So who wants to jump in because I want to pick your brain. Tell us what works for each of you in your business throughout each day. Who wants to go first? Come on.
Well,
don't make me pick somebody.
We're all trying to be so considerate, right?
I know, I love it. Wait till the end of the show. You're going to be talking over one another. It's all good. Miss Lynn, jump in, darling.
Well, I'll just do a general, because this is what I always do in my past life as a motivational speaker. I always kind of did a quote or, set the tone to get people really present to what this is really all about. And so, we're going to talk about tools today, definitely, and give people some meat and potatoes. And also part of the tools is really just part of a whole system. And so what I do in my business is I create systems for people, and systems that they can grow with over time, systems that they can, as we say in the business, scale over time.
Yep.
So, it's all about really prioritizing who you are, and then creating those systems and getting into something that you can easily do over and over and over again. And as your business grows, you can plug in more people to help you grow the business into the systems that you've created. So the tools is really a piece of it. As I say, get your slice. It's a piece of the pie. So I'll leave it at that for now.
I love that. And, I'm loving too. I learned about it a lot in my 3 to 5. Shout out to 3 to 5 because I see Vanessa Callahan, who you guys all know from our other show.
Oh, she's a doll.
David Hamilton. Thank you guys for that. Is not doing the same thing over and over again, learning to scale things up. You're right. And get those systems in place. I know it drives me nuts. I don't have my Dropbox together yet. So I'm always looking for that same photo over and over again, things like that. So that's how I actually got to know you even well. As you and I worked together, you did some efficiency for me. Yeah. I call it pimping my ride. I'm just saying.
Pimping your ride. Yeah, you just kind of need to fine-tune things and figure out who you are and where you're at and where you want to go. You know,
Yep.
good old-fashioned goal setting, writing stuff down that never hurt anybody.
Yeah, some old school right there.
Right.
All right, who's up?
Yeah,
I'm
and
just
Lynn,
gonna-
Lynn
go ahead,
makes a
Meg.
great point of, quoting other people. I do that all the time, and one of my favorites is Stephen R. Covey. He talks about sharpening the axe. And he's not talking about the little axe tool. He's talking about this stuff here, which
Right.
we're all doing right now. Everybody here on the panel, everybody who's watching, kudos to you guys for paying attention and trying to jump in and sharpen your own axe. I love it.
I love that analogy. All right, Mike, let's talk about you. What do you do? Like, because I mean, again, you guys, the big joke is every time is how many blogs does Mike write in a day, or in the time it took you to read this. So, because how do you stay so efficient? Because you are prolific, my friend. You put out a lot.
And it's funny because you wanted me to come on and talk about Hootsuite, which I'm happy to do, but it's actually Evernote that makes me so efficient with my blocking. Because I
used Evernote for her notes today. Holla!
Yeah, I know. That was fab.
I felt good.
Yeah. So,
Tell us about that. How do you use it?
I have a whole notebook within Evernote that's just for my blog. And so every time I have an idea about a blog post, boom, that goes into typically a brand new note within that blogging notebook. And one of the things that I love about Evernote is I can be on my phone, I can be on my iPad, I can be on my laptop, so I can be out on the weekend, wherever that idea hits me. I don't have to think about it for a second and then try to remember days, weeks later, oh, what was that blog post that I wanted to write?
Right.
I've trained myself to, no matter where I am at, even if I'm in the shower, after I get out of the shower now.
Is there an Evernote like whiteboard on your shower?
Waterproof
How many of
Evernote?
us have great ideas in the shower?
Yeah.
Best
I
place.
do.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the best
my
thinking.
iPhone's on the counter, and at some point, if I had a great idea, which I'm lucky if I do, if I had a great idea, boom, that's I got to open up a new Evernote and
Right.
get that in there, get that recorded, so I can come back to it later and I don't forget it.
I can just make a quick note. Do you guys remember the Seinfeld when he woke up in the middle of the night and was laughing and wrote something down, and then he spent the whole next day going, "What does this say?" And he's cracking himself up when he did it too. So he's really good.
So I've done that with Evernote. Like I have it on my phone, and I literally sleep with it next to my bed. My phone, not my Evernote. Well, and I'll wake up in the middle of the night and go, okay, what am I? And so I'll get a notification. I don't know if you guys know this in Evernote, but it'll say sleep and where you're located when you pull it up on your regular Evernote, and it's like your sleep note.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. So for everybody out there who doesn't know a thing about it, and clearly, Jason, we're going to need to segue to you in a hot second here. But you guys tell us about, because I have the free version. Give us like the practicality on for people who aren't writing blogs and so forth, like how they would get to it and how they get started on that. So I'm assuming that Jason, we want to jump into you on this, my brother.
All right, yeah, sure. So Evernote's a repository of notes, which can contain virtually anything that you want. They can be web clips, notes. You can type your notes. You can drop in pictures. Web clips are really the number one most useful feature, I think, that differentiates the product from every other platform. I was asked recently, what would you use aside? If you couldn't use Evernote, what would you use instead? Well, it doesn't matter. Everything else is the same after, if you take away the web clipper, every other database, every other note-taking app is the same if you remove the web clipper. That's what I think is a differentiating point of difference with Evernote from the rest.
Exactly. So I've actually let's see, I went into Google Chrome, right? I'm going to be the everyman or every woman on this, and I just downloaded a little extension so that it sits up there, and I'm looking at, oh, God, I want to buy this, or I want to come back and remember it, and I just blink, hit my little Evernote, right, and it stays in a little, because, I mean, how many times are we surfing 50 million times a day, right, you guys? Like, ooh, I want to read that. Ooh, I want to remember that, right?
And before we had the web clipper, we've all had 100 tabs opened, and we're stuffing web links into Word documents or Google documents, right? We're trying to pull the pictures in and trying to recreate the websites, or we're saving 100 PDFs, but there's no context, there's no meaning to what we're trying to recreate. But if you save a web clip of a web page in the Evernote, all of a sudden there's context, and you can add your notes to that web page. You can put tags on the on that web clipping that you've saved, and you can put it into a notebook that has meaning. You can a travel notebook because you're doing research on a destination that you're of a family vacation, or you're researching a new startup company that you want to open and create, or you're doing research on a blog post like Mike is working on that. He wants to create content around a specific type of area. So
right.
That's the differentiating point that's the difference with Evernote, I think, is the web clipper. But that said, you can dump anything into Evernote except for video. That's the only thing it can't handle is video.
Now, but you can web clip, and just to say, Evernote, it's not just for the nerds out there, right, guys? It's for
everybody. I'm not a nerd, and I use it.
Oh, you're a big nerd.
I'm a nerd. Hold on.
I beg to differ on that one. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I use Evernote in conjunction with Instapaper and OneTab. So Instapaper is you guys, I don't know if you guys all know it, but I love Instapaper because it's like the web clipper, but I throw everything into Instapaper as far as like websites. I'll throw like a Google Plus post into it, and then that'll remind me to go back to it, and then when I really, really want to keep it, I throw it into my Evernote file, because I use Evernote as like my final end-all be-all kind of a place to build stuff into. And like I use Instapaper as that, like, okay, I want to look at this, but I don't really want to store it into all my important stuff. And then OneTab, Jason was talking about like having 30 tabs open. I'm gonna totally call out my girl Barb Jasper. Right? None of us do that, right? Barb, I'm trying to get Barb to go from one platform to another, and I'm like, you gotta get OneTab. You can't have 40 links open, because I used to have 40 windows open, and I would be like, which one am I going to? And you might have shut me down yesterday.
and just so you guys know, when I joke about Mike writing 4 blogs in that time, Lainey has also gone through, curated, and learned how to use a new app in the time it took you guys to watch it. It's the same.
Well, I think this is the time I should out myself about my relationship with Mike Alton. Because
yeah, let's talk about that real quick. People need to know what's going on here.
As a social media professional who is constantly curating
Look at you, you're getting
content, I'm like, I just want to make out with him. He's like, this guy provides me, I mean, all I have to do is, because everyone knows I use Bundle Post, and all I have to do is feed his content into my Bundle Post feed channels. And he provides me, he makes me look good. What can I say? And
that's a business crush.
Well, yeah, it's a big business crush, because people expect a certain level of professional advice from me, and I don't have it all. I don't know it all, but people like Mike Alton make it so easy. And so when I see his feeds, it's like, oh my gosh, I could be posting stuff every 5 minutes. So prolific. And so I have to really watch it, because I got to give everybody else some love too, that I'm curating.
I know. Wait, let me put the camera on my. There it is. You guys, that's what this whole show is about too. Is like people come on from the panel and are just digging each other. So it's not just about the audience; it's panel members. I'm taking notes. It's good stuff. So I agree with you.
Lynn and I were talking yesterday, 2 days ago, and we were like, so we don't want to talk on the show. We just want to sit and listen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this.
Yeah.
Geez.
Like, that's what he said. That's why anybody I like, I'm like, yeah, what he said. What he said.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that Mike's also, Hootsuite expert really helps me out in my life too, because that's my other big tool. I mean, when I use Hootsuite and Bundle Post together, it's like, because I have to work for a living, right? And so part of my work is my social media agency, and then the other part is helping businesses get where they want to go. So all of that together, it's just like between those two, man. Mike, we need to talk.
Amen. I see. I see a relationship. Their Facebook status is going to change in a business relationship with Mike.
It's complicated.
It is. So here's what I'm loving about all this too is that so Lynn is the social media expert, but we're talking about stuff too that is again for the everyman, every woman, because you can use Hootsuite, you can use Evernote. It's not just for nerds, and I've got a couple quick comments too. We're gonna just to talk about that, and then Lainey, I really want that Instapaper thing in that one tab, girlfriend. You gotta just send it to me because Mama needs it. You hear me?
Free Chrome extensions. Free Chrome extensions. Go to the Chrome store, download them, and they're an extension. Saves my life, and it's so efficient for me. Yeah.
That's a great way to pull it together, Lainey. Love it.
Yeah,
it's the test. Got some up her sleeve.
Well, you know, I play. You know, everybody knows I don't sleep anymore. So
there is a comment about that. Lainey sleeps. That was from Barb. I think it's in here.
Yeah, I don't sleep. And Yvonne threatened to come to my house and hit me over the head with a bat, so I would sleep. But I think you really have to test out, the tools. I mean, Social Media Hat.
Everybody drink.
Social Media. You are Social Media Hat, Mike. Social Media Examiner did a couple of posts with a bunch of tools. I mean, everybody's got like lists of tools, and so I go grab those lists and I go play with them when I don't sleep. This is why I don't, because I go play and I see what works and what doesn't work.
People like me, because I'm like, last night. What'd you look up last night? So we're gonna, and that, what would be great too. I mean, we're gonna talk about each one of these as well. But after the show, during the comments, if we don't hit 500, by the way, because we've been hitting that a couple times, we're gonna each post in there what's working for us and what and Lainey's is obviously gonna be a lot longer than anybody else's because she's got a lot. She's been a lot of tools she's been playing with. There's that. Okay, I'm gonna.
I like tools.
I know. I've got a couple one just to go back on Evernote. Esther's got a good question. I can't seem to move the notes around. I'm on the free version. Is moving notes possible on Evernote? Any version?
Absolutely. Yeah. Where you want to move them between notebooks? You want to add tags to slide them around? Certainly, you can.
I see you and Esther connecting after this show for sure.
Yeah. So. Hit me up, Esther. PM me and I'll help you out.
I love it. So, guys, and that's true too. Let's talk real quickly. Cost effective, because you guys, if you're not watching your budget, you're like $5 here and $10 here, and I've got this here. So, I know for myself, a lot of times I just go through my bank statement. I'm like, I've got $500 out in different apps that I forgot to say after the 30-day trial. So, I'm thinking, Jason, Evernote's probably a good thing for that too, to keep track of how much crap you signed up for.
I'm sorry?
How much crap you've signed up for. Like, Evernote can help you keep track of that, right?
I'm definitely on the low end. I don't like to sign up for a lot of stuff either, but I think Evernote's on the low end because it's $45 for the year. So, and I think you get a lot of stuff for $45, honestly. But you can do a lot with the free version. You don't need the full version, the premium version.
Okay.
To do a lot of most of what you want to do. You really
don't.
Real
quick, the distinction between the two, because I am on the free version, and then we can move to some other tools.
Sure.
But what would be the biggest distinction on that?
The biggest distinction is more storage, more transfer rate bandwidth per month. It's not storage; it's transfer bandwidth per month. You get offline notebooks on your mobile, on your smartphone, so you can designate specific notebooks to be offline. And available to you without a data connection. I think that's really the killer feature.
That's big.
That's really big. And there's a few other newer features that they've added, and I can't rattle them off the top of my head, but those two are the biggest.
Here's a funny comment I have real quick. Mike John, hi brother. Tools.
Oh no! I got another one. Barb Jasper. Here we go.
Add tools, use tools, build tools. Know a few tools. Exactly. Don't we all? I'm just saying that is fantastic. Jason, thank you for that. By the way, I love your title, Evernote Optimizer. Again, why we brought you on for this too. I love that. Hey, real quick, I've got another one, little shout out. Also had the highly organized, Laura Williams, I love her, on indie office hours, and I hired to be my accountability check-in person to organize my business. I love that idea too. Let's talk about that of, once you kind of get that organized, like how do you keep yourself in check? How do you keep yourself on the straight and narrow, you guys?
Well,
straight and narrow. What's that?
So what's that?
Woo! I love that comment. Lynn, you want to jump in on that?
Well, part of my system is that I actually, this is going to sound anti-intuitive, but part of my system is that I schedule in my time and I prioritize my income-producing activities with my,
ooh, that's a good phrase.
kind of the fluff, and also as a marketer, I have to make sure that I'm marketing and that my clients are marketing when times are good. When they're making bacon, which, remember my little hashtag bacon. I should have put that up. But when they're making bacon, they're not really thinking about marketing, but you really have to build that time into your schedule. And, of course, one of our biggest tools, I'm sure all of us uses, is our calendar. And it's old school, but, people just sometimes forget to schedule stuff in. But something else that I schedule into my calendar is I leave time for cushion. So
you said that the other day. That was such a great, because we had a long conversation. You said, I could in some time, so this has been great.
Yeah, on Monday, I didn't have too much scheduled, so I left in some time for cushion. So that way I can mess around and have some fun and do stuff that really builds me up, that gets my energy going and feeds my spirit, and I don't have to feel guilty about it. I can celebrate and enjoy my life without having to feel guilty about it, because, I'm from a big ethnic family, and guilt is like hardwired into us. So, another thing I did last year was I hired a coach. And so even those of us who coach need coaches. And you and I have talked about this too. It's so important just to make sure that you're being checked by somebody else, kind of checks and balances. So, the mastermind groups can do that. Les Dossie does that.
I was about to say, Les had such a great...
shout out.
Yeah, isn't he great? Les has mentioned that before, too. One of the great things I remember him mentioning, it was on a show we were on, is he said, entrepreneurs are probably the toughest one because we're so excited we don't have a boss anymore, but guess what? We don't have a boss anymore.
Yeah.
So the goofing off factor and the accountability factor kind of goes out the window a little bit, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You learn the hard way, though. Really, I've been doing this for more years than I will ever admit, and so I've learned the hard way. I've made a lot of mistakes, and I didn't used to be disciplined, but I had to. Really using my calendar and my goal setting and having deadlines. They say goals are dreams with deadlines. You got to do it. It's not sexy, and it's not always fun. But when I meet with a client the first time, it's like they love and they hate me because I make them knuckle down. And some people come to me and say, I need social media, and I go, really? Okay, well, let's talk. Let's figure this out. Why do you think you need social media, and why now? And are you ready for the influx of business that would come to you? If I could drive business through your doors, are you ready for that? Can you handle it? Do you have your systems in place? So it's that kind of stuff that's, people don't like to talk about a lot, and they definitely don't like to do.
It's messy a little bit. And it's unsexy, right?
It's not sexy at all. And, to write a business plan, go figure. I've seen enterprises and SMBs, small and medium businesses, who never sat down and did a business plan, 5-year plan, 3-year plan, 30, 60, 90-day marketing plan. It's stuff that really is important to do if you want to have sustainability and make some money.
Well, I think the only way you can make writing business plans sexy is to write them naked, and that's it.
That would totally
it. Boom!
With a tiara and a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Cheers to that. Do it naked.
Exactly. Everybody drink. Tools. There you go.
Tools.
I love what you said. The goals are our dreams with a deadline, right? Is that what you said? Woo!
Yeah.
I love that one.
Date on it. Hey, and you got to be specific, right?
I know it, and you know what? You put the hurt on me in a good way when we had a conversation, and really, but I've got my mastermind group here, and I've got different people I do accountability, but it really is good to have that varied amount of people in your life say, hey, you talked about this, and I just have to give a shout out, Lainey. You are probably one of the people that everybody's got these crazy ideas. She's like, where's she going with this? But is it going to be good? You are one of those people, I got to shout you out, that you talk about things and you make them happen, Sister Christian. So I got to shout you out. You've really put some things in place lately. So let me see if I can do this real quick. That's for you.
Another thing that Lainey does really, really well, and I'm preaching this all of the time, is follow-up, follow-up, follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a stickler for follow-up. It bugs the crap out of people sometimes, but I do follow up, and the reason that I do follow up is because I'm making those notes. I'm writing it down. I'm putting it in my calendar, and I couldn't run a business in New Zealand unless I had that, where I'm renting a vacation rental, and so following up. Lainey, she wants me to come on her show. We set up a date, and then Lainey followed up to confirm the date.
Absolutely. Yeah, you guys
So-
jump in on that one too. Like, I am using Nimble now for Lynn, by the way, which I'm loving. That's my new CRM that I'm test driving.
Yeah.
What's our new buddy, John
John Ferrara, the
John
CEO.
Ferrara. We're
Yeah.
gonna
Oh
drink
my
some wine
gosh.
and drive your RV around apparently with him, but he's the guy that came up with Nimble. I'm loving that one for my CRM.
Yeah.
Some people use them, some people don't, but that does help me out a lot. I think you're right on that one, you guys. The follow-up of like, hey, it was great to talk to you. Let me know if you need anything. Like, that's a big thing that kind of gets thrown out, don't you think? Or just it gets missed.
Yeah, I think people get, they get busy, and I'm going to shout out Orletha Smith because yesterday she was like, people wear their busy badge, and she was like, their busy badge. Everybody's busy, so don't use that as an excuse. Make a plan.
Who ain't busy?
I actually use Google Calendar a lot. Like, it literally, if it doesn't go in my calendar, it does not exist in my world. You will never hear from me if it's not in my calendar. And I don't use email. And I get yelled at all the time because I hate email, but I have to check it. So I have all my emails delegated so I can, because I have like 5 Gmail addresses, so I can manage all my emails through my main email, and it's all delegated back to my main email. So it's finding those things. There's tricks and tips everywhere. And if you don't know it, Google it. That's all I do. I mean, Google it, bitches. I know that's.
Sorry, I have to say that. Google it.
But I mean, really, it's just finding the things that are going to make you more efficient, and what may work for one may not work for somebody else. So you've gotta find out what everybody's using.
Or just ask Lynn or ask Lainey because she'll tell you. Sorry to pimp you out, but I just be like, hey, does this work? Real quick,
I know, right?
Go ahead, honey. Yeah,
I was just saying, I don't know where I just lost the comment, but Shannon Hernandez. Oh, here it is.
Shannon.
Oops, not that one. I just pinned the wrong one. Whoopsie. Hold on.
Well,
Here
Lainey's doing all the legwork for us. I love it.
I am too. I got a couple as well, but yeah, bring up Brother Shannon because I didn't. Oh, here it is. Oh, there.
So
oh, yeah, there we go.
I found it. So he says that he uses Asana, and I've used Asana, and it's not for me. It doesn't work, but it works for Shannon. So I mean, and I'm not going to bag on Asana. It's a great tool. It's a great resource for people. But
Shannon
for me,
when he use it, that's right.
Yeah, but for me, like how I operate, it didn't work for me. So so go play with it. Go play with Asana. Go play with Evernote. Go play with whatever the different tools are, and figure out how you operate in your head, because that's the most important thing, I think, is figuring out how you operate, and then you can figure out what works for you.
I think too, and Mike and Jason pop in on this too. I think you really, and Lynn, you taught me this as well. You really do need to know what your end goal is, and then you can build that into CRM. And I have to give a real quick shout out to Joe Romeo, because that's who I met with earlier this week. He is an efficiency expert here in Denver, and he definitely pimped my ride and helped me pull out. First I came to him with a lot of my process maps, and then he helped me pick out the thing that was working best for me. This is a quick segue into this, you guys, with Ryan Hanley, because Shannon's question mentioned VAs. Does anybody leveraging virtual assistants?
I'd like to.
Not yet.
Me too.
We're getting there. We're getting close to the edge.
I have a great tip for VAs because Kristen Drysdale,
love her.
She was asking about that the other night on Craig Chamberlain's Hangout, and although I haven't been involved with VAs, I know a lot of people who are, and one of my contacts from a community manager community that I'm in referred me to Leapfrog VA, and they're all over the place, and it's a really great organization. They have a YouTube channel, so you can go and check them out. It's really, really, I think, a great resource, and I referred Kristen to her. Can't remember the name of the lady, but Leapfrog VA, that's a great resource. So that's all I can offer you right now. Sorry.
No, I like that, and I'm getting a lot of comments too from the audience as well. They're really pulling out a lot. Let's see. Somebody had mentioned Outlook. I mean, let's talk about that. Is anybody leveraging Outlook? In fact, here's a good question, Mike. This is for you, brother. What you say? It's how do you organize your blog notebook in Outlook? Mike Alton, do you have 7 notebooks in your blog notebook? So she wants to pick your brain.
Yeah, I think she meant Evernote though.
I think so too, but talk about that. If anybody's, let's talk about Outlook. I don't
Yeah,
use it
and it's
anymore.
funny because I
got
used to use Outlook just like Stefan was saying in a comment. I was an old school Outlook guy, used it for about a decade or so. Until last spring, I had a database corruption, and my Outlook was DOA. The backup was DOA. I lost a year's
that
worth
hurts.
of emails.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
I did
awful.
too. Do you know what I
Ah.
had, Mike? I had it where my phone. I had a new phone, and it decided to delete after 30 days, and then it was synced to Outlook, and it still hurts. Whew.
So I switched to Gmail, and I have never looked back. I use Gmail as my email client. So for those of you listening, it's not that I'm necessarily using a Gmail account. I'm
Yes.
using Google's Gmail platform to bring in
Look at everybody's
all of my
heads nodding.
business emails. Yeah, everyone, that's awesome. And I love it. I love having one app. I love how I've set it up once, and it's the same on my phone or my iPad or my laptop. It's to the point where this is now what I recommend to clients. If they're calling me up on a monthly basis because they get getting new devices and they keep trying to set up new email accounts, I'm like, okay, you know what? We're done with this. You're going on Gmail because I'm not answering the phone from you anymore until you do. So, Gmail.
I hear you. Now, I know Logan had mentioned she's a little cray-cray for Outlook. I know she's big on efficiency as well. So, again, you guys, I think it really is you've got to do your own homework, and it's annoying as hell because I know for myself I've been in CRM pain lately and finally, landed on Nimble. I know my brother David Hamilton did want to know if you had any recommendations back to CRMs, what you guys are loving.
Well, I think that Nimble is the new Outlook.
You and me. Yeah.
Yeah, Nimble's the new Outlook for me, and it's so well integrated with the social channels as well. Whether you're in the social agency business or not, if an everyday person, it's amazing. It's really amazing.
With anything, Lynn, just to even connect to LinkedIn. Because it'll say, at least I know that person. Like I can easily, because a lot of times you meet people, you go to a business meeting, you come back with a card, and instead of me having to go to all the channels, I put them in, and then it goes, oh, is that this Logan, or is this this Lynn, this Lainey, that Mike, and then it just pulls it in. So
it does so much legwork for you. It's amazing. I mean, I'm just learning now. I'm not going to say I'm an expert by any means, but from what I've seen so far, I'm loving Nimble, and there are tools and there are tools. A lot of times I will choose a software to use because the people who run the business are accessible and they are approachable and they make it easy to get questions answered and to get support. Imagine that, customer support. So that's why I use the tools that I use, because between Hootsuite and Bundlepost and Nimble, man, I have my finger on the pulse of the people who are running the business.
That is, I have to shout you out real quick, because that's one thing you're really good about is you get to know a product, and then you go and start tweeting, and you get in with the creator.
Yeah. I need to know how a business is working from the inside because, first of all, I'm interested in that, and second of all, I want to know that when I'm recommending it to my clients, I can depend on that, because my name and my reputation's on the line when I'm recommending something. So I got to know that the people are solid.
Oh, I just clicked on Jason drinking. I think it's because somebody said Tool, by the way. Somebody somewhere said Tool. Jason,
I think it's important, in the end, what this is all about, the conversation is all about here, is that it doesn't matter which tool you select, it's the one that makes you most efficient. And, everybody's going to have a different need and a different purpose and a different end, goal in mind. But at the end of the day, we're all going to have an efficiency that works for us, and you're going to pick the tool that works best for you in your workflow. And it doesn't really matter which tool you pick.
Yeah.
Whatever works best for you is most important.
I agree. People get real polarized about it and like, oh, that sucks or that doesn't work, and you just have to go, okay, for you, but for me. So Jason, with that, are you using Evernote as a CRM?
I do use Evernote as a CRM, and I had been using it as my getting things done tool for the last bunch of months.
You mean GSD?
Yeah, that's right, my GSD. But it kind of got a little bit heavy for me. It was getting a bit too much, so I moved to back to Todoist, which I love. So lately, the last few weeks, I've been using Todoist for GSD. So I love Todoist, and that's where I've been at lately.
Oh, and I want everybody to post the links of what's working for them, because I think this is going to be a great resource for anybody who comes back to the show and says, okay, and knows what Jason is like, and then that's what he's using or what Lynn does for a living. So
exactly.
Brother Mike, I'm going to pipe in on you because obviously Hootsuite, you're a big hooker. I mean that in the nicest way for those of you who've never watched my show, which, by the way, if you're just now tuning in, you are watching the Mia Connect Power Chat with 4 experts on business efficiency. So, Brother Mike, go. What are you using for a CRM?
Well, and that's the really fun thing, because with Hootsuite, the first thing people know and the first thing people think about when they think about Hootsuite is, oh, I can spam all my social networks. And it's one of those tools. It's a social media broadcasting tool, which, of course, that's what it was.
Which makes this sound, by the way.
Yeah, yes, exactly. I think, in fact, I have my computer set up to make that sound if I ever do that. But that's what I love about Hootsuite, is that it's evolved into so much more than just a broadcasting tool. And here's a perfect example. There's a Nimble app for Hootsuite.
Yeah.
Really?
So you can actually integrate Nimble with what you're doing with Hootsuite. Again, everybody said it, I got to reiterate, Hootsuite isn't for everybody. There's a free version, there's a pro version. The biggest difference there is how many social profiles you have.
Right.
So for most of my clients that I'm working with, they've got 3, 4, 5 branded accounts that they want to manage. Boom, they can use free Hootsuite. And then half of the apps are free.
I think
sense, it's great. What's that?
I think you're right. That's the great thing about most of these apps and tools. If you really want to just start off, one, you can just do the 30-minute and then do a note, do a calendar note to remember to cancel it before, or not 30 minutes, 30 days. How many of us are like, damn it, I just got charged for that?
Well, I do stuff for 90 days. So I give it 90 days.
That's a great thank you for that. That's a good rule of thumb, honey.
Because sometimes, I don't use everything right away, or I don't use it, I'll download it, and then I'll be like, oh, crap, 2 weeks later. And then, so even, the paid-for ones, if I pay for something 90 days, if I like it, I keep it. If I don't like it, or if I'm not using it like I should, I dump it. So it's a way to really test your efficiency with that tool and your usage, because why are we wasting money and spending $500?
And here's a good question from my brother Randy. Oh dang it, but brother Randy Hilarski says, when is it tool overload? Drink, everybody.
It's really when Mike said integrate, I wanted to take another drink, because that that is the biggest thing for me this year. This is a renewed policy for me and my clients, is make sure everything is integrated, because then your life doesn't become all about the tools. It becomes part of seamlessly integrating your life. It's not just your business, it's your life. And so when you have tools that integrate with each other the way that ours do, it's amazing. And as Lainey was saying earlier, she's trying out a lot of the Google apps. I've been doing the same thing. It just makes life so much easier when things are really seamlessly integrated. So along with the year of the storytelling for this year, it's the year of integration, and the year of the kick-ass,
and the year of collaboration.
And collaboration. I will say integration.
Nice.
Year of the infotainment.
Edutainment.
Infotainment. Yep. Here's a good one, too, just to go back to VAs. Brother Jeff says he uses longer days for VAs. So I got to say, you guys, that's got to be the next step for all of us, of budgeting that out and building processes that you can hand off to people, because as entrepreneurs, we're all the guys that live the band with the drum in the back and then the cymbals, and they're doing everything. We got to stop doing that, because it's not efficient. 50 things crappy instead of 10 things well.
Yeah. I have a good book recommendation for anybody. This is anybody, everyday person who is in a business or wants to start a business. It's called The E-Myth Revisited. Have you guys seen this book by Michael Gerber?
No.
This book is amazing. This will change your life, and it will help you. It will help you do exactly what you're saying, Mia, is to build businesses that don't wear you down, where you can actually not only enjoy the income that you're generating for yourself, but you can give back some of that income that you're generating. You can give back your time. You can get into doing things that you want to do in your community. But if you set up your business correctly, then you're not going to be the only one. You're going to have help. and you're going to have these systems, and you're going to have these tools that are seamlessly integrated, but it does take time. And this book is really, it talks to my philosophy, and yet this book is 30 years old, so go figure.
Stop.
Michael Gerber is amazing. I saw him speak in person a year and a half or so ago. Talk about somebody that you should really learn from. Just amazing.
That is, I love it. And now you guys know I want to drive out and fly out to the West Coast and make out with both of these ladies and drink wine. I'm the same.
Ready.
Girl on girl, back room.
Yay. All right, we're at 45 after the hour. That's how good this has been. Before we wrap it up, I want to talk about what you guys do to have time for self-care. So is it making sure you're drinking 8 glasses of water a day, that you take the dog out at a certain time? Like, what are some of the things you do to decompress, to step away? Because as we're all Google Plus hookers, and it is definitely a little bit of an addiction. So what do you guys do to decompress? Nobody, nothing.
I read, actually.
No, lady.
I read. I read
Girl.
I read a lot. I probably read anywhere from 2 to 10 books a month. So and I don't sleep until 3 a.m. So I get up at 7 a.m. So yeah, I'm solid.
It's seriously like having an extension of myself with being friends with Lainey, because I'm like, baby, what'd you do for me last night? It's like a cup of feel.
Exactly.
I love
it.
I always have a stack of books, and I have my Kindle app, so when I'm on the road or I have a stack of books next to my bed, I'm always reading. So I think
loving it. And throw some of the book titles in there that you're feeling are the best too. So, Brother Jason, how about you? What are you doing to kind of decompress in between all this efficiency?
Well, you can see I'm always drinking water.
I know, drink.
Yeah. But working out, as often as I can, and playing with my daughter. I've got a 5-year-old, so that keeps me busy and decompressed, trying to play with Legos and draw a lot of pictures and things of that nature. So between the two, and of course, trying to keep up with reading, but there's squeezing in the time for that is never enough.
5-year-olds keep you curious, don't they?
Oh, indeed.
I love it. Hey, Brother Mike, what about you? Because we know you've got that adorable 2-year-old who can't breathe well today because she's got a bad cold. Bless her.
Yeah, and that's probably my big break that I worked in, because I used to work 7 days a week, as a solopreneur, all day, every day.
Yeah.
Now the weekends are about family. Saturdays are about me and my wife, my little girl going out doing something. Sundays are extended family days.
Yeah.
So we've got my in-laws here in St. Louis, big family. Big.
Oh yeah, well, because you're from the Midwest.
Yeah, well, they're Chinese.
Okay, big family.
Yeah, so that's what we do.
Subscribe to the Midwest. That's what it is. That's awesome. And let's get real quick. Let's get a Star Wars fist bump going right there.
Oh yeah.
Mike Alton is my brother in Star Wars nerdery. And also Jeff C. He gets a fist bump too. So I love it.
Don't break the plus. Don't break the plus.
Oh, I know. That's why I did it late in the show. I didn't even say the other word. I didn't see the movie title. Hey, Sister Lynn, and then we're gonna wrap in and get into some new segment and some Bat Crap Crazy. But Lynn, you are so good about self-care. We were on the call yesterday, and you had your little snap sugar peas, and you do your juicing and all kinds.
I know. I'm
like the bad juicing.
No. I'm always, it's always an effort for me. It's never come naturally to me. I'm from the Midwest, but now I live in California, and so now we're all
Detroit.
We're all like crunchy granola, organic out here, and I mean we don't wear Birkenstocks. No offense to anyone who does, but we have other sandals that we wear, and I go to Burning Man once a year. I think everybody pretty much knows that. I used to keep it a secret, but I try and get outdoors whenever I can and get up off my butt and get outside. And the last couple days I walked 6 miles. I'm really proud. I have an app for that tracks my mileage, and it's an app for that. It's an awesome GPS app, and I turn it on when I start my walking, and it doesn't matter where I am, but that tracks it. And then I do Pilates on Mondays and Thursdays, so I have a pretty good schedule. And then I have a big family too, like Mike, And so we get together on the weekends, and I have an RV, so I take off on that.
I love that.
And go out to the coast, and then in my spare time, I watch reality shows like Vanderpump Rules. Just saying. I just outed myself.
Don't judge.
I don't judge.
I do not judge. She helps me keep up on it too, because I watch her on Twitter, and she's like, American Idol, yeah, you know, and I always
Oh my gosh, my girlfriend Elizabeth Traub is one of the Idol tweethearts, and so she got me back to American Idol this year. So thank you, Elizabeth. Yes, you got to follow them. They're awesome. They're really awesome.
Hilarious. And hey, we've got. I want to have you guys actually go into the comments and answer this one, because I think it'd be good to have it in there. But my sister Vanessa says, "Was there a time when you were overwhelmed by all of this? When did that? What did they change in their thinking to get a handle on how they use their time?" What I'd like for you guys to do is to answer that in the comment stream too, so people are seeing that, because I think that is a good one. I know I get, let me see if I can do this one. You guys are going to love this. This is what I get when I'm overwhelmed. The Martian squeezy head. I just did that to Brother Shannon last night. He is so good about brainstorming, and then he was talking, and I was like, oh, I had to do this in the Hangout, which he knows is the cue to, like, don't give me any more new ideas, because I can't take it. So listen, I'm going to introduce real quick a new segment that I'm going to be doing on each show, and I haven't even told the panel, but it's called What's On, and today I'm going to ask everybody what's on the bottom, and I know you said you weren't going to show me, but I want everybody to stand up. What's on the bottom, everybody? Here we go. What's on the bottom?
Oh, man.
I don't know if I can.
It's all sweater.
Oh, yeah, there's Miss Lynn. Hold on.
You want to see my slippers?
Brother Mike, Brother Jason, there it is. What's on the bottom, party people?
I got my slippers on. What can I say?
Well, that could have been awkward.
I know, that's why I didn't want to tell you guys. And that's also the part when you know somebody's wearing something inappropriate, when they won't show you.
Fully clothed.
Yeah.
Fully clothed.
What's on the bottom? Well, thank you for playing along with that one. I love it.
That was great.
Wow,
Thank
we
you.
had drinking games. And
That could have been really weird, since that's the first time, you know, and someone has shown up totally inappropriate. Next week, everybody should be prepared. But you know,
yeah, it's gonna be what's on. You never know what's on your desk. What's behind the camera. You never know. Speaking of thinking of ideas, I thought that one up in the shower this morning. So there's where you get your
where all the best ideas come from.
I'm telling you, I love it. So. Listen, my other favorite part of the show is, what time is it for, you guys? Who knows?
Bat Crap Crazy.
Yes. And for those of you who don't know, Bat Crap Crazy is when my guests get to shout out a person, place, or thing that they are crazy about and that they want to promote. So it's a great time for them to pay it forward and talk about the they love, right?
That's right.
And then, so I want you guys to give me your Bat Crap Crazy and your call to action. So I'm going to start with, Lynn. Go, girl.
Oh,
go.
with me. Oh, well, for me, it's about family, and I've got a niece and a nephew that are twins that turned 14 today, and I was very blessed. I got to be at their birth. My sister, as a single mom, pushed out 2 babies at my friend's house in Napa. We called them at 3 in the morning and said, could my sister labor at your house? She's in labor. She doesn't want to go into the hospital. We had 2 midwives and a doula, and the whole family. It's like, it was crazy. So. Nikki and Val, they were born 14 years ago today at my friend's house in Napa. So I want to shout them out, along with Nikita, my niece, who's 17 and started a company when she was 14. So because of my passion for entrepreneurs, I'm just so proud. And then my nephew Jonas, he's going to be 15 pretty soon. And these kids are just doing amazing things already in the world. And I'm a proud auntie.
Yay! I love it. Girlfriend, what do you want us to do? What's your call to action?
Well, visit my website and tell me what you think of it.
And that is?
I just started blogging. It's People FW, so People Forward. So it means putting people first, peopleforward.com. Yes. And, you know, it's kind of like the cobbler's kids' shoes.
Yeah.
I started blogging and got my website going last August, and I'm still working on it. So
crickets on mine. I know the
feeling. Yeah, no. Give me your input, but if it's good, tell me in public. But if it's not, then just private message me, please.
Being stupid. I'm like that. I'm like, talk behind my back, okay? I don't want to. Thank you, darling. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you. It's so nice to be with all of you guys, Jason, Lainey, and Mike. So nice.
When this panel came together, it felt magic, everybody. I was really excited, so I love it. I'm going to go with Brother Jason. Honey, what is your Bat Crap Crazy and what's your call to action?
Back crap crazy is spring training. You know,
Right.
I'm not following baseball so much right now because I'm too busy. But it means that winter is almost over, and I've had enough. Let's get
Holla,
rid of the
holla.
snow, warm up, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in
let's play
Jersey,
ball,
that's
right?
right. You kind of got your
Yeah.
butt handed to you recently, so play
Yeah,
ball.
it's been a tough winter, so let's get it going, right?
I hear you, honey.
And
And what's your call to action?
yeah, go to my website, jasonfrasca.com, and just published my first book last week. So if you're
Oh, he
if you're
says
new
that
to,
with such alacrity, like, oh, just put his book, whatever.
so if you're a beginner to Evernote, or if you're struggling to get it going, if you haven't figured it out, if you've started and left again, like a lot of people do on Evernote.
That was me.
That's the right. It's the right book for you. If you're advanced or you know what you're doing, it's not. You're beyond it. But check out my website and have a look at the book.
And we still have some room on comments, honey, so please post that. And then how to get your book, because I know.
Well, yeah, thank you.
Yes, please do. And congratulations on that. Again, you're like, oh, I
Thank you.
published the book. All right, I am going to go with Miss Lainey Bobaney. What is your back crap crazy, and what's your call to action, darling?
Oh my gosh, I'm so bat crap crazy about the girls in our community. They're not girls,
Should be.
they're ladies. The women,
Yeah.
they're amazing. Irene Brody, Yvonne Hyman, Heather Crafter, Heather Bailey. Love my girls Barb Jasper and Shannon Lamos. I could. There's 500 women in there. I can't even list them all here, but I love them all. They're just it's amazing what has come together over there. And
Whitney,
yeah,
too.
yeah, it's a blessing. So it's been fun to watch. And come join us. Call those 4 girls. Come join. Jason joined this morning. Yeah, we got the guys. Mike, I
It's not
expect
just
you
for
to
chicks.
get over there. Yeah, it's not just for chicks. There's dudes in there. We like our guys, so come on over. So Mike, I expect you to be over there soon. No, no pressure, right?
No pressure.
Right. But no, that's just. Yeah, just come over and join us, those 4 girls, and then if you want to find me, it's Lainey Sullivan on Google+. I'm not hard to find.
I know it. That's good branding right there, sister. I love it. Last but not least, Mr. Brother Mike Alton, what's your back crap crazy, and what's your call to action?
Oh, I'm from St. Louis. We're huge blues fans, so my bat crap crazy is TJ Oshie playing for the U.S. men's hockey team,
There you go.
killing it in Sochi.
Nice.
They've been Oshie and Sochi. They've been doing great.
That
They're
is
playing today.
awesome.
They're going to play for gold this weekend. I know it.
That
Doing
biscuits
best.
this.
Yeah.
For sure. That's awesome. I didn't know that. I love that. Post that too, honey, because I think, that's some hometown pride right there, right?
Yeah. Oh,
What's
we're
your,
thrilled.
I love it. What's your call to action, brother?
Simple call to action. If you're in business and you need a blog, but you can't get started, you're struggling to get started, call me. We'll do an hour session on the phone, a fast start session, and we'll get you started on content marketing. I'll help you figure out what do I blog about, which social networks do I need to be on. We can do all that strategy typically in 1 hour, and then a lot of people can take it from there. So it doesn't have to be a huge expense in terms of coaching. Some people want more, but that 1 hour fast start is so huge for so many people that I talk to. So yeah, there's my call to action.
Do the thing like call me, right? Hey, give me a jingle jangle. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much. Hopefully out there in the audience, please make sure to circle everybody that's on here because they are the shiznit.bomb.com. Whatever else you can add to that, that's why I had them on here today. So for all my panelists, you guys please make sure to comment and throw everything in there so everybody can find it easily. My back crap crazy today is for the Craft Star and Jeff Horace, who's the one that made that cup. Lynn, hold it up for me again, please. The Back Crap Crazy mug. They do have a store that's the Mia Connect swag, so you can get Back Crap Crazy mugs, and all the proceeds go back to the business owner, to the people, the crafters. So please go get your swag on. That's all I have to. I am back crap crazy for them. I love small business. And my call to action, of course, is themiaconnect.com. Come back every Friday. We've got the Mia Connect Power Chat. We switch it up for everything. But again, thank you to my panelists. You guys are rocking out with your socks out. Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you.
And one more quick time for me to say Tool one more time is thank you to steadydemand.com. Please go check them out at steadydemand.com/tool. And Ben Fisher, love you, brother. He is the man behind this whole thing. So it's a great tool to run your Google+. That's it for me, you guys. Have a great weekend. Bye.
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 Hey, Robert Caruso's out there. Hey,
Oh, that's our
Robert.
brother from another mother.
And my girl, Dawn. She's one of my Michigan girlfriends.
Yes.
From my home state of Michigan. Dawn Swick is out there. And
I saw that.
gosh,
That's awesome.
Lance is out there. And
Woo, Brother Lance.
so many.
Yeah,
So
see Chef
thank you.
Dennis.
Is
Chef
Sheffy out
Dennis.
there?
Yeah.
Excellent. Anybody else?
Mark
Hey,
Ensign's
Matt.
out there.
Hey, Mark, he's getting warmed up for David and Christine's show after this, so happy he could make. Oh, Jeff C. He's probably making a video about this right now, a bumper trailer. That's what he does.
Oh, nice.
I love it. All right, guys. Well, the first thing we're going to get into is I'd love to hear from each of you what's working in your life, and I'm going to be scritching down notes like a crazy woman. So who wants to jump in, because I want to pick your brain. Tell us what works for each of you in your business throughout each day. Who wants to go first? Come on.
Well,
Don't make me pick somebody.
we're all trying to be so considerate, right?
I know, I love it. Wait till the end of the show. You're going to be talking over one another. It's all good. Miss
I
Lynn,
know.
jump in, darling.
Well, I'll just do a general, because this is what I always do in my past life as a motivational speaker. I always kind of did a quote or, set the tone to get people really present to what this is really all about. And so, we're going to talk about tools today, definitely, and give people some meat and potatoes. And also part of the tools is really just part of a whole system. And so what I do in my business is I create systems for people, and systems that they can grow with over time, systems that they can, as we say in the business, scale over time.
Yep.
So,
Love it.
it's all about really prioritizing who you are, and then creating those systems and getting into.
Pants on.
I do have pants on, but I'm not going to stand up and show you.
Okay.
But I'm one of those four.
Yes,
I'm
you
one of those
are.
4 girls, and we have a community, a women's community, and we have a show on Thursdays at 10, and we just had a great show yesterday with a bunch of amazing women, and then I run a boutique advertising agency, so I help businesses grow their businesses with, getting new clients online. So that's what I do.
And you also build log cabins in your spare time.
I do build log cabins in my spare time.
I say to anybody who's got a lot of cool stuff going on. So welcome, darling. And those 4 girls community is just rocking out with her sock out. I love it. So you're making it happen. Thank you, darling.
Thanks again for having me on. I love being on with you. So
Yes, girl.
I'm so excited. I'm popping my Mike Alton and Jason Frascatelli.
Oh, yeah.
I call for that noise, indeed. So that's my girl right there. Speaking of which, in the time it's taken me to introduce everyone, Mike Alton has written 5 blogs. Welcome to the show. Hello, my friend Mike Alton, the social media head.
Hello.
How
Thank
are you?
Thank you. I'm doing fabulous. So excited. So much fun to be here. And,
I love having you on. Where are you at, brother?
I'm wearing pants. Sorry.
You are wearing pants. Amen.
I'm in St. Louis. And, for anyone that doesn't know, I kind of consider myself a content marketing consultant, because I like to talk about blogging a lot. Obviously, and
In the next 10 to 14 weeks, and I'm also Evernote consultant. I work pretty hard on Evernote too.
Building a log cabin on the side, right?
That's right.
A ton of free time. That is awesome. All right. Next up, I think it was Lynn who was the next one who said, I want to be on the show. Hi, darling.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Get your
This is
slice.
exciting.
Hey,
Get your slice.
Tell us where you are and what you do.
Well, where I am right now is in the Sonoma Valley in Northern California, wine country. So if you like wine, then come out and see me.
Hey.
Raising your hand. I am a social business specialist, so that means that I help businesses get social. And everyone knows in this day and age, it's now a necessity. A lot of businesses have been fighting it, kicking and screaming for the last 8 years or so. But you know, the gun has gone off and the marathon has begun, or it
Amen.
began a long time ago. So you got to get your shoes, you got to start training, and you know, and get out there and be social. So I help businesses get social.
This is why I invited Lynn, because she's always got some good phrases that really get me inspired on it too. So thank you, darling. All right, next up, Miss Lainey. Hey, girl. And she's gonna unmute herself. Hi, girlfriend.
Hi, everybody. Good morning.
Yeah, tell us about you. Where are you at? What you do?
Well, I am currently sitting on the Trask River in Tillamook, and where Tillamook cheese comes from. And so I'm in partial civilization, so I have partial internet connection, just so you all know.
We're just happy she's got me.
Talk about social media, but I get not every business has a blog, so that's why I kind of talk about it from a content marketing perspective. But I love using Evernote. I talk about Evernote all the time because that's what I use as my blogging tool. So I'm really excited to hear what Jason has to say and pick his brain right along with you.
Amen. And then if everybody will look over Mike's, his right shoulder to his left, we've got some Hootsuite going on. So we're going to definitely talk about that as a tool. And I'd also, it's too early for most people to be drinking, but if it was, we could make a drinking game out of how many times we're going to say the word tool. Right? We're going to say it.
Hold on.
Oh, wait, everybody drink. Yeah.
Wait. Okay, got the back crack crazy going on.
Oh, yay. Hey, let me shout that out real quick. Do you have the back crack crazy wine glass?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's wine, though.
I'm in the wine country, and it's not wine, it's coconut water.
Not
coconut water, get it straight.
Hydrating from last night.
That's right.
Exactly. All right, so we're going to throw out some comments from some of our people. We've got Miss Heather Crafter. Hey, let the party begin. Hello, darling. This is one of my favorites. All right, with the Matthew McConaughey voice. Thank you, Chris. Ryan Hanley, he had something to do today, but now that he knows Jason is talking about efficiency, he's going to be here and apparently thinks a little Mia Voss never hurts anyone. Thank you, Ryan. That's awesome. And Barb Jasper. Yes, I love it. Barb Jaster, that's one of those 4 girls. Looking forward to hearing how I can be more efficient in my biz efforts because I'm wearing so many hats. There's always so little time and so much to do. So thank you for that, Barb. So do you guys have anybody you want to shout out in the audience real quick before we get going?
Well, I saw my buddy.
Welcome. It's Friday. Welcome to the latest edition of the Mia Connect Power Chat. I am your host, Mia Voss. Today we're going to talk about business efficiency, and we've got 4 experts that I've been picking their brain for the last couple weeks, and now I present them to you, so you can pick away as well. So welcome to the show, everybody. It's good to see you guys. Wait, here we go. Yeah. There they are. So I have a ton of good stuff going on for you today. First, I'm going to talk real quick about my show sponsor, which is SteadyDemand.com. Speaking of business tools, go check them out. They are great for running your Google business page or your own personal brand. So please go check them out at SteadyDemand.com/tool. So that's my shout out for them today. And then I am going to get into real quickly my panel because they're fabulous. I'm going to go in order of who is invited. So don't think it's a guy-girl thing and first because it is just who decided to be on the show first. So I'm going to bring up my brother Jason Frasca, who was the first one to agree.
Thanks for having me.
To be on this show. How are you, dear?
I'm doing great. So great to be here, Mia, with you today, and everybody else, Lainey and Lynn and Mike.
Yay! I want to tell you that you guys, how I got to know Jason is he had reached out to me, and then we had this impromptu private hangout that turned into like an hour, and it was the bomb, and I just couldn't get over him. So I was like, please come on the show. We need to showcase your shiny out to everybody else. So tell us where you're out of, Jason.
Yeah, I'm in New Jersey, 45 miles west of New York, and I do small business consulting, digitizing businesses, helping them get to the 21st century. And I'm also working on 2 startups that hopefully I have some MVPs launching